Talon number 10, written by James Tynion IV, art by Miguel Sepulveda and Szymon Kudranski. So last issue, Talon busted in, like airdropped into Bane's island. He's sneaking around, he found Sebastian, and then he got attacked by a big old dude named Wolf Spider. So that's happening. Meanwhile, back at base here, we have Sarah still getting brainwashed by the Court of Owls, and Casey is forced to watch by the Butcher, and just like, yeah, we're doing great at reprogramming her. She already gave up something about like a DNA encoded backup of your father's plans. So as it turns out, we don't need you anymore. And she's like, fine, whatever, do it, kill me. And he's like, oh, no, 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 we're not going to kill you right now. I got permission to wait until Calvin returns or until we find out he's dead. And then I'm going to kill you. So that's going to be fun. So just wait on that. And so he leaves. We cut back to the island where Talon is being attacked by Wolf Spider. And Wolf Spider just immediately is just like, you want to know how I got my powers? And Talon's like, no, I don't care at all. He's like, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you how I got my powers. I was a runner, so I didn't want to be big and bulky like Bane with the venom. So I convinced the good doctor here to break my bones and let them reform to make me even faster. And Calvin again says, I don't care, tries busting out a window, but Wolf Spider grabs hold of him, throws him down to the ground, and just crushes his head into the dirt. And just like, well, rub my hands, that was easy. So we see Bane is about to ship off with a bunch of warships, and Sebastian comes up and he's like, Bane, you gotta help me, man. Calvin, he's here, he's gonna kill us. And he's like, okay, here's the deal. No, he's not gonna kill me. I'm Bane, for God's sakes. And look around you, I've got my army. I don't care about your stupid little Talon problem. So he raises the army and is just like, oh, tonight we leave for Gotham. It is mine. I take my place, whatever. And then he looks over at Sebastian and is like, fine, all right, let's go take care of your stupid little Talon problem. So we see Wolf Spider reporting that Calvin was there. And he's like, yeah, he's here. I dealt with him. No big deal. But then, of course, Calvin is functionally immortal. So he gets up and he's like, I barely felt any of that. Round 2, baby. So cut back to the Gotham Public Library, which apparently has the Court of Owls thing underneath of it. I think they showed that before, but I completely forgot about it. And as the Butcher arrives, turns out Casey escaped. She managed to get out of her restraints. She goes up through a tunnel, great thing, into the library as some teenagers are making out. And it's like, oh, don't let me interrupt you. I'm just gonna head out over here. So we see Calvin fighting against Wolf Spider, but as he has a knife against his throat, a bunch of Bane's army men appear and start aiming their guns at Calvin. And Wolf Spider's like, see, this is Bane's army. You can't go up against us. We're too strong and stuff. We will storm the breaches of Gotham City. We'll deliver it to Bane. And then one of the guards comes up and slices all of the venom delivering tubes to Wolf Spider. And it turns out that these guards are maybe not actually guards. It's hard to say whether they're coming out of nowhere or whether they were the guards in disguise. But it's the criminals and the misfits from before. We got Anya, we got Joey, we got Edgar, all these people here to save Talon. But then Wolf Spider gets back up and he's like, oh, this isn't over. And then all of a sudden they just immediately take him out, knock him down. Right here is also where we have the very sudden art shift over to Szymon Kudranski. I like both art styles going on here. I probably prefer Zymon's Calvin to the other guy. I forgot who it was already. Hold on. Miguel Sepulveda. Just a taste thing. I like Kudranski's art a lot. So anyway, they say like, okay, first off, how did you guys even get on the island? It's like, yeah, no, we were supposed to rescue someone from this island like months ago and we had plans made up that didn't involve airdropping like an idiot. And Talon's like, ouch, okay, fair enough. So anyway, cut back to Casey. And she's trying to make her way out of the library, but two security guards who are obviously Talon's stop her and say like, Miss Washington, you're going to need to come with us. Wink. We still have your daughter. Don't forget that. And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to go with you and you're not going to start anything because if something gets started on top of the biggest base in New York, you're going to have, or in Gotham, you're going to have a real big problem. And they call her bluff. They start going after her. She grabs one of their guns, fires in the air, which attracts a real police officer who's nearby. And police officer's like, lady, you are so under arrest. And they're like, officer, we can take care of that. And it's like, you guys are rent-a-cops. I'm an actual cop. Get out of here with that. So she smiles as she's being put in the cuffs and being like, well, ta-ta, boys. I'll be safe and sound in the lockup. So at that point, we see that the Morse code tooth thing that we introduced last issue is going off again. And Casey's updating them like, I'm free of the court, but they still have my daughter. We got to do something about it. And Calvin's like, oh, she's still alive. Oh my God, I'm so happy. But then that's immediately interrupted by Bane and his crew showing up being like, oh, I wouldn't be so happy just quite yet because your troubles are just getting started. So yeah, it's fine. It's a good enough issue. It brings together a couple threads there. It forwards Casey's plot, which I was a bit worried about, that she was just going to be trapped in there for an extended period of time and only use the lockpicks that she got from Calvin like at the very end. But I'm glad she's out and about and we're doing something about that. In terms of the Sebastian plot, I don't know. It's like, obviously it ties directly in with the Bane plot, but it just seems like it's more focused on Bane than it is Sebastian right now. And that's not an inherently bad thing, but it does feel like we kind of just left that one dangling. Maybe we'll get back to it. Maybe Sebastian will get his comeuppance. I don't know. Overall, though, I would say that this one is probably just a 7. It's good. I think, you know what? I'm going to have to bring it down to 6.5 now because of that art shift. That's worth half a point in that it was very jarring. It was very sudden. It didn't quite flow for me, to the point where I wasn't even sure I was looking at Wolf Spider when he came back the second time. So 6.5, but it is still an enjoyable issue for the most part. And it does feel like we are ramping up to a at least interesting fight. And obviously the Court of Owls have to be taken down yet another peg somehow. So we'll see how that happens.